Hello, my name is Rachel and I'm here with day 7, wow, already day 7, of Bookmas, and today we're going to be talking about series finales and or sequels, and I think I have 7 that I want to talk about that I read. I did have to branch into the series though, and you know what, just on an aside here, I actually started quite a few series too that I'm really into, so hopefully if we hit this topic next year I'll have a lot of good updates for you. But for now, the 2016 list, and these are in no particular order. I think it's just the order that I thought of them. The first one is A Gathering of Shadows by V.E. Schwab. This is the sequel to A Darker Shade of Magic, and I thought this was not as good as the first one, but still pretty good. And I'm super psyched for what I believe is going to be the finale coming out early 2017. I think it's coming out sometime between January and March, I feel like. Maybe that's wrong, but I know it's sometime in the late winter, early spring time. So I'm excited. I believe it's going to be the last in the series, and I'm excited to wrap this one up. It's awesome. I really wasn't too into fantasy at all when I first started BookTube. I'm not really sure what my genre really was. I just didn't know what I really liked to read, but I did not think fantasy was one of those things, and I picked up A Darker Shade of Magic, and I feel like it changed my mind. It really opened me up to the idea of fantasy novels, and I'm very grateful for that. So I will always have a special place, I think, for the series. But again, A Gathering of Shadows was the new one this year, and I really, really enjoyed it. Next up is The Raven King by Maggie Stiefvater, and I have to say, I am so sad to see the series go. I originally stumbled upon the Wolves of Mercy Falls series by Maggie Stiefvater, which is like Shiver, Linger, Forever, and Sinner. And I love that series. And it's not even like, I don't think especially great now that I've really expanded my reading. I don't think they're particularly good books. I mean, they're good, but they're not like as good as other things out there. But I just love them. That's all that matters to me. I just absolutely love the series, and I refuse to read the Raven Cycle series because I was so scared it wasn't going to be as good, and dare I say that I think it was even better. And I absolutely love the Raven Cycle. I am planning to reread all of them again because it just blew my mind. I highly recommend them. They're amazing, and while I did enjoy The Raven King, I am still so sad that it's the end. Next up is Escape from Asylum. This is by Madeline Rowe, and this is from the Asylum series. I thought this was the best one. All of them kind of surround this idea of a haunted building that used to be an asylum, and it follows the story of these 3 present-day teenagers exploring the ghosts and hauntings and all the misdeeds going on around this one. And this particular book, Escape from Asylum, actually takes us back to when the asylum was up and running before it was part of a dorm in the college. And so we get to look at some different characters and just a different perspective, and I really, really liked this one. I've kind of enjoyed all of them, but I think they're enjoyable. I think they're able to be kind of creepy without being like terrifying to where you're not gonna be able to sleep at night, which is, you know, right in my wheelhouse. So cutesy for most people. So if you're like a diehard, like, Stephen King fan, you're probably not going to like these, but they're good for me. And if you liked the art style with Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children and that series, you might want to check these out because they have those found photographs all throughout and some that have been modified to help support the story, and I think that's awesome. Next up is one that I actually just finished this week, and that is Miss Marvel Volume 5. I think it was called Super Famous. And I was kind of surprised to have this one on my list because I read Volume 4 and it was Debbie Downer all the way, and I knew there was kind of a change coming when she joined the Avengers, and I just wasn't sure how that was going to affect the series. I wasn't that excited to read it because I just had low expectations, but I decided to pick it up during the readathons this week, and I really enjoyed this one. I like how real it is. Like, it's about this teen girl who takes on the role of Miss Marvel, and now she's trying to be an Avenger, but she's also trying to live her life. She's got some boy problems and some family problems, and it's kind of always about her, like, trying to balance everything, which I think is accurate for any person in the world. You're trying to balance all these things in your life all the time, and sometimes it's really next to impossible. And I love that there's diversity in this book without, like, that being the main point. Like, the fact that there is a diverse range of characters has nothing to do really with the story. You're just in the story with these diverse characters and kind of living around, and I like that. I think too many times the diversity is the key point in a book, and I think that really kind of takes away from the story. So I love it. I am definitely going to be continuing on with the series, even though I wasn't quite sure after volume 4. The next one is probably one of my favorite sequels of the year, aside from The Raven King, of course, and that is Torch Against the Night by Sabaa Tahir. I was so highly anticipating this book, and I just did not think she was going to be able to top the first one. Most times I think the second book is always a little bit less awesome than the first one. I feel like it just kind of has to be, but this one, I don't know, man. It was still really, really good. And it was so exciting because I had several students at school who were really interested in this too, so we kind of read it together and we got to discuss it. And it was awesome. I'm not going to give away too much, but I was really worried about 75% of the way through this book that something was going to happen, and I wasn't going to be very happy. I promised the kid that if this thing happened, I was going to throw the book out the window. And luckily, I did not have to throw the book out the window, so we'll leave it at that. But it was awesome. I would say, I mean, if I absolutely had to pick one, I think the first one was better, but they were pretty equal for me. I really didn't see too much of a difference. Like, I felt like we were in a different scenario completely. Like, the whole situation was different, but I think the adrenaline, if you will, and the excitement and the page turning was absolutely still there. The interest was still there. It was just really, really, really good. So if you liked An Ember in the Ashes, you're definitely gonna like A Torch Against the Night. Next up, I finished up the 5th Wave series, which was The Last Star. And I actually think I read Infinite Sea early this year. I think that was when I read it. It was either the end of last year or the beginning of this year. So, and I actually reread The 5th Wave this year, so I read the entire series this year. Yeah. And I thought that it was pretty good. I'm not sure, like, the ending, it's always brutal, I think, in the last book in a series because everything is coming to an end. So even if everybody is just happily ever after, you, the reader, aren't, because it's the end. So it doesn't matter what's gonna happen, it's still a bummer. So I feel like I was expecting that, but whoo, it was a bummer. The end, I think, was kind of a bummer, but it was good. I thought it was exciting. I mean, I think it kind of ended how it needed to, so I can appreciate that. I think still the first one was the best book. I would say probably the second two were kind of more equal, but I still think The 5th Wave was the best book in the series. And last up is the Alex and Ada Volume 3, which was the finale. This is a comic series that I really, really enjoyed. I read them all obviously very quickly because it's a graphic novel, but I just really enjoyed the series. I thought it was kind of fresh and new, and I felt like it gave me something to think about, and it wasn't all action all the time. I really enjoyed that it was more of like a calm thing that made you think, as opposed to just action on every page all the time. And I really enjoyed it. I really wish there were more of them. I don't own any of them, I don't think, so I think I'm going to look into getting them. I would really like if they published all 3 volumes in one book, so hopefully that will happen soon. And I don't know, we'll see. So those are the top 7 series finales or series sequels that I read this year. I'm looking forward to reading several next year. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I started several series this year, so I'm looking forward to continuing those. And yeah, so let me know down below what your favorite series is that you're into right now, and I will definitely check it out. Reading wise, I had to go back to work today, obviously, since it's Monday, so I've had no time to read. Hoping to definitely make some major headway in another one tonight, and then take it from there. So I will see you tomorrow with another video. Bye for now!